No, I think it's about time we talked about inflation.
Why the hell does affordability still suck?
Need groceries? That'll be $140. Need gas? Another $70.
People are doing everything they were told to do. Working hard, paying bills, trying to stay afloat. And it still isn't enough anymore. Groceries cost too much. Rent keeps climbing. And even basic survival seems stressful right now. Inflation is destroying normal lives. And millions are feeling the pressure every single day.
This is how the world feels right now. Leave home, shut the door, $100. Leave home, shut the door, get in the car, $100. Moral of the story, probably just stay home.
$74 fucking dollars. That's what it just cost me to get gas. For like 3/4 of a tank, 80% of a tank. I don't care if Iran has 37 fucking nuclear weapons. I'd rather them have that than pay that shit. How the fuck am I supposed to do anything? Save for the future, put money down, fucking... If I gotta pay 75 bucks a time every time I go to the pump, how the fuck is that even possible? I have a 2013 Honda Accord. I don't have a fucking sports car or a Ferrari or any of that other shit. How is that possible? How am I supposed to do anything in life as a young Gen Z when gas is 75 fucking dollars for not even a full tank, for 3/4 of a fucking tank? How is that possible? Can some boomer or older generation, can someone please explain that to me? Groceries are up, everything's up. Can someone please explain that to me?
I'm actually sick right now. I just went to CVS. Guess how much this cost? Take a look at this pile of items, okay? We've got a couple of hair items. We've got some ear cleaners, very sexy. More hair items, okay? Travel size, shampoo, hair mask, disinfectant wipe, some Pampers, pimple patches, travel size, Listerine, eye drops. Guess how much this cost? I want to hear your guesses. What do you think? $128. $128. Guys, this cost of living thing, I'm starting to feel it. It's ghetto. I need to leave LA. I need to leave the country. I think it's time to go. Like, this is a week's worth of groceries. Guys, this is not okay.
I know the plan for gas. I know what they're going to do. They are going to, because they did this during COVID, they're going to put the price up so high that it's going to become like unbelievable. People are going to be like, $7? Like, it's going to become like riots and stuff like that. Then they'll bring it down to like $4. Okay. And people are going to be like, oh, much better. And we'll be content in that, even though it's higher than what we're used to, because it was so high, people will be like, okay, well, that's much better, and kind of just fall back into their complacent life. That's what they always do, right? They did that during COVID. Like I said earlier, prices were high for groceries, and people were like, dude, like, this is insane. Like, from before, I don't know if anyone remembers the prices before COVID. Like, I'm not saying it was great, but like, it wasn't as high as it was after COVID. Then they're going to bring it down a little bit, like a couple cents, and then they'll leave it at that. And that's what it's going to be. And we're going to just be content with it because, you know, we suck and we like to be in the ass with no lube or condom. Anyways, that's my prediction, y'all, for gas. I don't know what y'all's predictions are, but I feel like that's what's going to happen with gas. And we're going to be content with $4, and that'll be the new norm. And, yep, that's what they do with a lot of stuff. So what are y'all's predictions? I want to know what other people think, because I think I'm right.
Don't understand why we have to buy vehicles and then we pay property taxes to maintain the roads, but then we have to pay each year to have our cars inspected by the state. And if you don't have an up-to-date inspection sticker, then you'll get a ticket from the police for driving on the roads that you paid for with your tax. Then you have to register that vehicle too, and then pay for that. I understand that vehicles should be safe. I just feel like we're just paying for way too much shit. It's way too much shit.
6 months ago, I told you prices weren't going down.
It's $5.49 now.
Inflation's still going up over Trump, and Trump said he would end it. He should be held accountable.
Earlier today, I posted our monthly budget for the second time in a row, and whenever I look at those numbers, I'm like, every time. Anyone else? Cost of living is so high right now. Food, just for our family to go eat out, like at a sit-down restaurant, nothing fancy, just like Red Robin, it costs like $80 after the tip. That's crazy.
No, I think it's about time we talked about inflation and who legitimately likes and watches that shit. Because where do you get the idea to not only create inflation, but to be attracted to inflation? It's insane to me, because imagine making direct eye contact or having a casual conversation with somebody that secretly likes inflation. Well, the thing is, you don't have to imagine anymore.
About gas prices. I'm not even going to talk about gas prices. I didn't even talk about groceries. These are literally the essentials. Just living. The living expenses are astronomical. But for some reason, y'all keep telling people that they're just living above their means. I remind you, this apartment is almost $2,000, and it's not a luxury apartment. Y'all want to hop into the comment section talking about, oh, well, I found an apartment that was $700 a month. Yeah, and as soon as you click on the reviews, you see roach infestation, rodent infestation, guns, shooting, weed, all of these things. People should not be subjected to that if they don't want to be subjected to that. If having a safe and clean place is living above your means, then hell yeah, I'm going to live above my means.
All right, so a lot of people are asking a completely fair question. If inflation came down and the economy has improved, then why the hell does affordability still suck? So let me see if I can put this in a way that everybody can understand. Because politicians are counting on people not understanding the difference. Trump's first-term COVID response included roughly $2.2 trillion in care spending. Then another roughly $900 billion in late 2020 relief. Biden then added another $1.9 trillion with the American Rescue Plan. That is roughly $5 trillion dumped into an economy where supply chains were broken, factories were shut down, ports were clogged, and labor participation had been wrecked. Then the Fed raised rates aggressively to try to cool inflation. But here's the part that politicians do not explain to people. Inflation slowing down does not mean prices going backwards. So if groceries went from $100 to $125 and inflation cools to 3%, your groceries are now $128.75, not back to $100. And honestly, this is where Trump screwed up on messaging, because lowering inflation and improving the economy is not the same thing as rolling your grocery bill back to 2019. And I think a lot of people heard that as the same thing. And that is why people feel so disappointed. Because technically inflation did improve, but practically your wallet still feels like it got mugged. Because groceries are still roughly 25% higher than pre-pandemic, mortgage rates that were around 3% shot above 7%, and insurance premiums, well, y'all all know how that went. So yes, the economy can improve. Yes, inflation can cool down. Yes, Trump's second term can look materially better than Biden's inflation peak. And affordability can still absolutely suck all at the exact same time. Because people don't live inside economic charts. They live inside grocery stores, inside daycare bills, inside rent payments, inside car notes. That's the difference these politicians and economists keep failing to explain to people. So I hope this helps a little bit. This was fun. Have a day.
Michigan is getting so expensive that every trip outside of my house feels like I'm being financially irresponsible. Need groceries? That'll be $140. Need gas? Another $70. Want to go out to eat one time? Good luck paying your utilities. And the craziest part is everyone is acting like this is normal. Like we're all standing in line at the grocery store, pretending that it's completely reasonable that snacks, eggs, milk cost half your paycheck. But yeah, the economy's doing great.
A reminder that we're going through some pretty unprecedented times right now, and it's important to be kind to one another. Every time I fill up my tank these days, for real, and it's like practically $80, I'm just thinking about the fact that, you know, people who may not be able to do this and how they may be getting around or not. And the fact that like our government and everything that's happening around the world, you know, you can start to feel helpless, especially if you're struggling financially, emotionally, spiritually. So be kind. You know, this is when compassion becomes so important, because compassion is actually a practice. When I used to think about, the power of positivity in my life, I got to a point where I didn't like toxic positivity, where you're just like, everything will be fine. But now I realize the power of kindness as a daily practice. Be kind. People are going through it.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting down really realizing that inflation is horrible. Like, I already knew inflation was horrible, but like, just think about it. Like, I went into the store, bro, and chopped cheese used to be like, I would say it used to be mad cheap. All of a sudden, chopped cheese are like $7. Why is a chopped cheese $7? Like, I have a problem with that. I really do. Like, I can't even go in the store and buy my little snacky snacks because of inflation. And now that we have, he's gonna make it. And the reason why I'm saying this, because I'm gonna tell you in the next video, but long story short, like, can we go back to a time when things were affordable? When things were affordable, please.
Does anybody else's teenager buy shit at the grocery store just to buy it? Like, she's grabbing things I've never seen us have at the house before. Like this. We've never had that in the refrigerator. And whatever this is, we've never had that before. It's like she sees things and just because we're paying for it, throws it in the buggy.
No matter which way this war goes, we all have to look at one thing that's going to happen. Even if the Straits of Hormuz is opened, it will be a while before we see a difference in gas prices or grocery prices because it's going to take time. On the other hand, what if it's not opened? And what if Trump or Israel decides to drop an A-bomb on Iran? Well, that doesn't help anything either, because then you have no oil at all, nothing. So either way you look at it, this is not going to be resolved anytime soon, and we are all going to feel the effects of this through higher grocery prices, because diesel is outrageous. So for deliveries of groceries, it's going to really skyrocket. The gas prices are skyrocketing. Everything is going to go up. So you might as well double your income to pay for this stuff. So tell me truthfully, did Trump destroy America? Yes, he did.
The ungodly high cost of living is causing Americans to throw in the towel and give up. This system isn't sustainable. It's literally meant to benefit the 1% and only the 1%. You can work hard all week and still not be provided with enough money to pay your rent, pay for groceries, pay for necessities, nothing. And then people still try to turn around and gaslight you into making it all out to be your fault. It's like, what's the deal here? We're all just expected to keep our mouth shut and just keep working and working and working until we develop health problems, until, we have heart attacks, until we literally pass away. Because that's kind of how it's starting to feel here, and it realistically isn't really a life that's worth living, even in the slightest. People are literally fed up. People are at their wits' end with this shit. People are checking out at unprecedented rates. And instead of showing empathy, instead of showing compassion, instead of showing the slightest bit of humanity, all a lot of people really know how to do anymore is kick people while they're already down. I'm not really sure what's happened to America, but it's absolutely nothing to be proud of anymore.
$10. I'm curious. How much can $10 purchase East Tennessee Walmart? The reason I say East Tennessee is because regions vary in prices. So I'm just curious what $10 can purchase inside of my Walmart in East Tennessee. And I want you guys to let me know if it's more or if it's less in your region. I'm just very curious to see. Now, I'm going to go in here and I am going to purchase real food. Real food. I'm not going to purchase any junk.
My goal here is to get protein,
some vegetables, and some fruit. So I'm looking in every little bin that I can to try to find something that is affordable. And I noticed here they had $3.50 on those little boxes of chicken, but they didn't have any in stock. And that's the first time I ever seen seasoned pork in a box. So that's new. So I did see this festive Italian style ground turkey for $1.98. Pretty good deal here. I just kept looking in the meat section trying to find more protein, and that was way out of budget. So with this chuck roast, $17. That's sad. That's actually on sale, isn't it? Wild. Found the Dr. Pepper smoked sausage. That was kind of cool. Didn't get it though. Pork chops were out of my budget. I mean, I was going to have to go with a protein other than meat in order to get another protein in this $10 budget. I was looking all around. I looked at the beef. I looked at the pork, the chicken, the ham. They had it. I looked at it. Nothing was cheap enough for me to purchase, and those prices for that chicken was wild. That bag of chicken legs was pretty good for the amount of chicken legs that you get. $5.48 for all that, pretty good. I tossed it in the buggy thinking maybe I'll get this instead of the ground turkey. And I seen another bin of meats, and the price on chicken thighs was outrageous. $15 for one of those packages. Now those chicken leg quarters, that's a good deal if you're looking for some cheap meat. I wanted to get some fruits in this $10 haul, so I went for the cheap, always cheap bananas, and they had these oranges here, 88 cents a piece. Look at this. An ear of corn is $1.25. That is insanity. Insanity. Y'all heard me complain about the prices of bell peppers and the looks of them. They all still look like crap, and the price went up. Now, cucumber is a relatively cheap way to get some produce in your house, and I thought about it. Asparagus is ridiculous, and that whole pound of Gala apples was $2.17. The other ones were not even close. They're like $9, $6. And today Walmart had a lot of marked down lettuce, but it all looked kind of funky. Potatoes are always a cheap way to go when you're trying to get some produce, and they're full of nutrients. Hello. Are you guys ready to see what $10 gets you in East Tennessee at Walmart? I tried to include a fruit, a vegetable, and proteins in this, and I wanted to get real food, not junk food, not boxed food. I wanted to get real food. So we got these Gala apples, $2.12 for this whole 3-pound bag, which was a pretty good deal. All the other apples cost $4 plus. There were some for even $9. 49 cents a pound for some bananas. I got 3 bananas. 1 orange. This was 88 cents for one singular orange. About 2 years ago, this would have been 25 cents. 1 can of tomato paste. 4-pound bag of Idaho potatoes, $2.24 here. A frozen bag of chopped spinach. This was around $1.28 or $1.24. 1-pound bag of light red kidney beans, $1.22. And I got a pound of festive Italian style ground turkey. This was $1.98. Now, let me know, guys. Go to your Walmart app and add all of this stuff into your cart and let me know what the price is. I want to know the difference.
At this point, people aren't living. They're just trying to survive paycheck to paycheck. The cost of living keep rising while everyday people keep falling behind. If you're feeling this way too, please subscribe to Shauna Real Talk TV, where we talk about the economy, inflation, and everyday struggles.
I know if you overthink, me, I know